The hidden threat. In the deep, uncharted reaches of space, a new danger emerged. A colossal and merciless alien empire known as the Draconis. For centuries, they had conquered and annihilated countless civilizations across the galaxy, their insatiable hunger for dominance seemingly unquenchable. Their latest target, Earth, the Draconis, led by their fierce and calculating Emperor Corvus, had set their sights on the blue planet after receiving unsettling reports of a primitive but surprisingly resourceful species. Little did they know, Earth harbored secrets far beyond their expectations. On Earth, the enigmatic Tartarus system lay cloaked in secrecy. This remote, toxic world had become a symbol of death and despair, a planet so lethal that no other species had managed to survive its hostile environment. Yet, the humans had survived where others had perished, a testament to their tenacity and resourcefulness. Adam Porter, a seasoned space pilot, was among the first to witness the full scale of this new threat, when Draconis warships appeared near the edge of human territory. The Draconis were unlike any foe humanity had faced before. Sleek, deadly, and frighteningly efficient. Porter's urgent report to the Earth Defense Council, EDC, triggered an immediate response. The Council had long anticipated such a moment, having invested covertly in building an impressive fleet capable of defending Earth from any existential threat. This fleet was humanity's last line of defense, its existence a closely guarded secret from the very species it aimed to protect. As the Council debated their strategy, the realization dawned that the Draconis were no ordinary adversary. Their scouts had discovered Earth's location, and the risk of invasion was imminent. Admiral Jameson, a grizzled veteran of numerous space conflicts, spearheaded the response. His role was crucial. He had masterminded the hidden fleet's construction and was now tasked with leading it into battle. Jameson briefed his crew, including the brave rookie pilot Dennis Hicks, about the grave threat the Draconis posed. The stakes were clear. Earth was at the precipice of invasion, and humanity's survival hinged on their ability to repel this overwhelming force. Dennis Hicks was assigned a critical mission: to infiltrate Draconis space and gather vital intelligence on their military capabilities and plans. It was a daunting task, but one that was essential for ensuring Earth's survival. With a small, stealthy craft and a seasoned team, Dennis ventured into the heart of enemy territory. Meanwhile, in the Draconis Empire, Emperor Corvus seethed with fury. His expectations of an easy conquest were shattered by the reports of humanity's sudden and formidable resistance. As Dennis and his team infiltrated the Draconis outpost, the gravity of the situation became evident. They discovered a staging ground for a massive invasion fleet, ready to strike at Earth with overwhelming force. The team's mission was clear: gather as much intelligence as possible and return to warn Earth. The situation rapidly escalated when their presence was detected, resulting in a fierce battle within the alien facility. Despite heavy losses, including the brave Kowalski and Corporal Lee, Dennis managed to escape with crucial information about the Draconis invasion plans. The calm before the storm. Upon returning to Earth, Dennis relayed the grim news to Admiral Jameson and the EDC. The Draconis were not only planning an invasion, but had amassed a fleet that could obliterate Earth if left unchecked. With this knowledge, the EDC's long-hidden fleet was mobilized. Humanity's hidden arsenal of advanced warships, powerful energy weapons, and a cadre of highly trained personnel was now poised to face its greatest challenge. The EDC's secret fleet, carefully constructed over decades, emerged from its concealed bases. Warships, fighters, and defense platforms took their positions around Earth, forming an impenetrable shield. The atmosphere was thick with tension as the preparations unfolded. Humanity had mere days to fortify its defenses and prepare for the impending onslaught. The Draconis fleet, led by the terrifying Harbinger, was approaching, and the stakes could not have been higher. Admiral Jameson and his team worked tirelessly, coordinating the defense and ensuring every ship and weapon was ready for battle. The EDC's strategic deployment aimed to maximize the effectiveness of their forces while minimizing potential vulnerabilities. As the Draconis fleet entered Earth's solar system, the scene was set for an epic confrontation. The battle would test every facet of humanity's military capabilities and resolve. Dennis Hicks, now a key player in this high-stakes drama, prepared for the coming conflict. His previous mission had not only provided crucial intelligence, but had also deepened his commitment to protecting Earth. As the Draconis fleet approached, Dennis and his fellow pilots underwent rigorous training and briefings, their resolve hardened by the knowledge of what was at stake. The Draconis fleet, with its formidable array of ships and weaponry, loomed ever closer. The Harbinger, the largest and most intimidating vessel in the Draconis arsenal, was a symbol of their intent to crush all resistance. Corvus, determined to make an example of Earth, was resolute in his mission to subdue and enslave the human race. His vision of domination was clear, and the Draconis were prepared to execute it with ruthless efficiency. The first clash, the anticipated day arrived, and Earth's defensive perimeter was put to the test. The Draconis fleet, emerging from hyperspace, was met by a formidable human response. The initial clash was fierce and chaotic, as plasma bolts and missiles streaked through space. The EDC fleet, despite being outnumbered, fought with unparalleled courage and tactical precision. Dennis Hicks, piloting his fighter, engaged in intense dogfights against Draconis interceptors. His squadron, Gamma Squad, maneuvered with agility, dodging enemy fire while launching counterattacks. The battle raged on, with human ships holding their ground despite the overwhelming numbers of Draconis vessels. The Harbinger, a looming shadow of destruction, led the charge, its weapons cutting through the EDC fleet with terrifying power. Admiral Jameson coordinated the defense from the flagship, his strategic brilliance evident in the way human forces adapted to the Draconis tactics. The battle was a test of endurance and strategy, with both sides suffering significant losses. Despite their technological superiority, the Draconis faced unexpected resistance from the well-prepared and determined human fleet. The EDC's fighters and warships worked in concert to target key Draconis vessels, aiming to disrupt their command structure and slow their advance. The human ships, equipped with advanced technology and weaponry, fought valiantly against the relentless Draconis assault. Each engagement was a testament to human ingenuity and resilience, as pilots and crews pushed themselves to their limits in defense of their world. Dennis's fighter, though damaged, continued to engage the enemy. His dogfighting skills were put to the test as he navigated the chaotic battlefield, his every move crucial to the survival of his squadron. The Harbinger, a formidable opponent, remained a central focus of the battle, the turning tide. As the battle continued, the tide began to turn in humanity's favor. The EDC's strategic maneuvers started to pay off, with human forces gaining the upper hand in several key engagements. The Draconis fleet, though still formidable, faced increasing resistance and disruption. The human warships, utilizing their advanced technology and tactics, began to inflict significant damage on the enemy. Admiral Jameson's leadership was instrumental in this shift. His ability to adapt to the changing dynamics of the battle and make critical decisions under pressure helped the EDC fleet capitalize on the Draconis' vulnerabilities. The Harbinger, though still a significant threat, was beginning to show signs of strain as human forces concentrated their efforts on neutralizing it. Dennis Hicks and his squadron played a crucial role in this turning tide. Their continued harassment of Draconis ships and strategic strikes against key targets helped to weaken the enemy's offensive. Dennis's determination and skill, forged in the heat of battle, became a symbol of human resilience and courage. The Draconis, sensing the shift in momentum, attempted to regroup and reassert their dominance. However, the human fleet's relentless pressure and tactical brilliance continued to disrupt their plans. The once overwhelming Draconis assault was now met with fierce resistance at every turn, as humanity's hidden strength was revealed in the heat of battle. As the battle raged on, the human fleet executed a series of decisive strikes against the Draconis fleet. The coordinated attacks and focused firepower began to take a toll on the enemy's forces. The Harbinger, still a formidable presence, was increasingly isolated and vulnerable. The shifting dynamics of the battle created opportunities for the human forces to exploit, turning the tide further in their favor. The Harbinger's fall, The turning point of the battle came with the emergence of the Harbinger as a central focus. The massive Draconis dreadnought, its obsidian hull scarred from previous engagements, continued to wreak havoc on the EDC fleet. However, the combined efforts of human pilots and warships were starting to make a significant impact. Dennis Hicks, having survived the initial onslaught, found himself at the forefront of a critical mission. His squadron was tasked with a daring operation to disable the Harbinger's primary weapons and propulsion systems, thereby neutralizing its threat. The mission was perilous, but Dennis and his team were determined to see it through. In a high-stakes maneuver, Dennis and his squadron executed a coordinated assault on the Harbinger. The battle was intense as they navigated through the wreckage of fallen ships and the onslaught of Draconis defenses. The Harbinger's formidable shield and weaponry presented a daunting challenge, but the pilots pressed on with unwavering resolve. As the squadron engaged the Harbinger, Admiral Jameson coordinated a simultaneous attack from the EDC fleet. The combined assault aimed to exploit the dreadnought's weaknesses and deliver a decisive blow. The Harbinger, despite its size and power, was not invulnerable. The concentrated fire from human forces began to take its toll. Dennis's squadron, amid heavy losses and intense combat, managed to breach the Harbinger's defenses. A series of well-placed strikes targeted the dreadnought's critical systems, causing it to falter. The once unstoppable Harbinger was now facing a critical situation, its power waning as the human assault continued. In a dramatic climax, the Harbinger's reactor, critically damaged, detonated in a massive explosion. The site of the dreadnought's destruction was a turning point in the battle. The Draconis fleet, witnessing the fall of their flagship, was thrown into disarray. The loss of the Harbinger was a significant blow to their morale and operational capabilities. The aftermath. With the Harbinger's destruction, the Draconis fleet was thrown into chaos. The human forces seized the opportunity to press their advantage, targeting remaining Draconis ships and reinforcing their defensive positions. The battle, though far from over, had shifted decisively in humanity's favor. The aftermath of the conflict was marked by both victory and loss. The EDC fleet, battered and scarred, emerged victorious but at a great cost. The human casualties were significant, and the damage to Earth's defensive infrastructure was considerable. Yet the triumph over the Draconis was a testament to human resilience and ingenuity. Admiral Jameson, reflecting on the battle, praised the bravery and determination of his crew. The EDC fleet's success was the result of their unwavering commitment and tactical brilliance. Dennis Hicks, having survived the intense combat, was celebrated as a hero. His role in the Harbinger's destruction was a significant factor in the victory. In the aftermath of the battle, Earth began the process of recovery and rebuilding. The damaged infrastructure was repaired, and the fallen were honored. The victory over the Draconis was a reminder of humanity's strength and resolve. The EDC fleet, though exhausted, remained vigilant, prepared for any future threats that might emerge. A new dawn as Earth recovered from the battle. The victory over the Draconis marked a new chapter in humanity's history. The conflict had demonstrated not only the technological prowess of the EDC fleet, but also the indomitable spirit of the human race. The victory was celebrated across the globe, with people coming together to honor those who had fought and sacrificed for their survival. The Draconis, having suffered a significant defeat, retreated to the fringes of the galaxy. Their empire, though still a threat, was now more cautious in its approach. The battle with Earth had exposed vulnerabilities and demonstrated the resilience of its inhabitants. The Draconis were no longer the invincible conquerors they had once been perceived to be. Admiral Jameson, Dennis Hicks, and the rest of the EDC fleet's crew were hailed as heroes. Their bravery and determination had played a crucial role in securing Earth's safety. The human fleet's hidden capabilities, once a secret, had proven to be a formidable force against even the most formidable of adversaries. As Earth looked to the future, the lessons learned from the battle were applied to strengthen defenses and prepare for any potential threats. The victory was a testament to humanity's ability to rise to the occasion and overcome seemingly insurmountable challenges. The EDC fleet, though battered, stood ready to defend Earth against any future threats, embodying the spirit of resilience and determination that had secured their victory. The shadows of peace in the wake of the epic battle, Earth began to stabilize. The scars of conflict were still fresh, but the indomitable spirit of humanity shone through the recovery efforts. The victory over the Draconis was celebrated with a renewed sense of unity and purpose. Earth, now a beacon of resilience, had earned its place among the galaxy's powerhouses. Admiral Jameson and his team continued to lead the rebuilding efforts. Their strategy was not only focused on repairing damaged infrastructure, but also on reassessing and fortifying Earth's defenses. The Hidden Fleet, once a well-kept secret, was now a symbol of human strength. The EDC took this opportunity to modernize and expand their military capabilities, integrating the lessons learned from the battle into their new designs. The Draconis, while retreating, were not vanquished. Their defeat had sent ripples across the galaxy, and the once feared Empire was now facing internal strife. The loss of the Harbinger and the disruption to their military hierarchy had sparked dissent among their ranks. Various factions within the Draconis Empire began vying for power, leading to a period of instability and conflict. Meanwhile, on Earth, Dennis Hicks found himself grappling with the changes brought about by the battle. His heroism had elevated him to a prominent position within the EDC, but the weight of leadership and responsibility now rested heavily on his shoulders. Dennis, known for his tenacity and courage, was tasked with mentoring the next generation of pilots and strategists, ensuring that the legacy of their victory would endure. The EDC also took steps to strengthen alliances with other spacefaring civilizations. The battle against the Draconis had proven that cooperation among different species could yield powerful results. Diplomatic missions were launched to establish and solidify these alliances, fostering a network of support that would act as a bulwark against future threats. In the midst of this rebuilding phase, a new threat began to emerge from the shadows. Small skirmishes and attacks on distant colonies hinted at a rising power that sought to exploit the weakened state of the Draconis Empire. This new faction, known as the Vortrex, was a cunning and ruthless group with ambitions of their own. The Vortrex capitalized on the chaos, seeking to expand their influence and challenge the new order that humanity had helped establish. Admiral Jameson and the EDC were keenly aware of the shifting dynamics in the galaxy. They knew that the victory over the Draconis was only the beginning of a new era of challenges. The Vortrex, with their enigmatic motives and growing power, represented a potential threat that needed to be addressed swiftly. The rising storm as the Vortrex made their presence known, the EDC's focus shifted to understanding and countering this new threat. Intelligence reports revealed that the Vortrex were a formidable adversary, utilizing advanced tactics and technology to challenge established powers. Their leader, a shadowy figure known only as the Warlord, was rumored to possess a deep understanding of both warfare and political intrigue. The EDC, recognizing the urgency of the situation, mobilized their fleet and resources to prepare for potential conflicts with the Vortrex. Admiral Jameson, while still overseeing the rebuilding of Earth's defenses, also spearheaded efforts to gather intelligence on this new faction. The aim was to anticipate their moves and develop strategies to neutralize their threat before it could escalate into full-scale warfare. Dennis Hicks, now a seasoned veteran, was assigned to lead a covert mission to infiltrate Vortrex territory. His previous experiences had equipped him with the skills needed to navigate dangerous and unpredictable environments. Dennis's mission was to gather crucial information about the Vortrex's plans and capabilities, a task that would require both bravery and discretion. The Vortrex, known for their ruthless efficiency, were a challenge unlike any the EDC had faced before. Their tactics were unorthodox, often involving hit-and-run attacks and psychological warfare to destabilize their opponents. The intelligence gathered by Dennis and his team would be pivotal in shaping the EDC's strategy for dealing with this emerging threat. As Dennis and his team delved deeper into Vortrex territory, they encountered a complex web of intrigue and conflict. The Vortrex were not a monolithic entity, but rather a coalition of various factions with their own agendas. The warlord, though powerful, faced opposition from rival leaders within the Vortex. This internal strife added a layer of complexity to the situation, making it difficult to predict the Vortex's next moves. The alliance of shadows, the discovery of internal divisions within the Vortex, led to a re-evaluation of the EDC's approach. The EDC, recognizing the potential for exploiting these divisions, sought to forge alliances with factions within the Vortex that were opposed to the warlord's dominance. Diplomatic efforts were initiated to create a coalition of resistance, aimed at undermining the warlord's influence and destabilizing the Vortex from within. Admiral Jameson, working closely with diplomatic envoys and intelligence operatives, orchestrated a series of covert operations to support the factions opposing the warlord. These operations involved providing tactical assistance, intelligence, and resources to the resistance groups. The goal was to weaken the warlord's grip on power and create an environment conducive to negotiation and potential peace. Dennis Hicks, still deep within Vortex territory, played a crucial role in these efforts. His interactions with various factions allowed him to gather valuable intelligence and build relationships with key figures. The resistance groups, though fragmented, were united by a common goal of overthrowing the warlord and establishing a more stable and equitable system. As the resistance movement gained momentum, the Vortex began to experience internal turmoil. The warlord's authority was challenged, and power struggles emerged among the factions. The EDC, through its strategic support and diplomatic efforts, played a key role in tipping the balance in favor of the resistance. The struggle within the Vortex was not without its challenges. The warlord, though facing opposition, was not easily defeated. His control over the Vortex's military forces and resources allowed him to mount a determined defense against the resistance. The conflict became a complex and protracted struggle, requiring careful planning and coordination from the EDC and their allies. The diplomatic gambit with the Vortex in turmoil, the EDC seized the opportunity to initiate diplomatic negotiations. The goal was to reach a settlement that would secure lasting peace and address the underlying issues that had fueled the conflict. The EDC's diplomatic envoys, working in tandem with resistance leaders, sought to broker a deal that would bring stability to the region and prevent further escalation. The negotiations were fraught with challenges. The warlord, despite his weakened position, remained a formidable adversary. His reluctance to concede defeat and his desire to maintain a degree of influence posed significant obstacles to the peace process. The resistance factions, while unified in their opposition to the warlord, had their own agendas and demands, making the negotiations even more complex. Admiral Jameson and his team worked tirelessly to navigate the diplomatic landscape. Their approach focused on finding common ground among the various factions and addressing the core issues that had led to the conflict. The goal was to create a framework for peace that would be acceptable to all parties involved and prevent the resurgence of hostilities. Dennis Hicks, still operating within Vortex territory, played a crucial role in facilitating communication between the resistance factions and the EDC. His insights and relationships with key figures helped to bridge gaps and build trust among the negotiating parties. The negotiations were a delicate balancing act, requiring both diplomacy and strategic maneuvering. As the talks progressed, a tentative agreement began to take shape. The warlord's power was to be significantly reduced, and a new governance structure was proposed to ensure greater representation and stability. The agreement also included provisions for humanitarian aid and reconstruction efforts, aimed at addressing the damage caused by the conflict. The dawn of a new era. The peace agreement, though hard-won, marked the beginning of a new era for the galaxy. The Vortex, now under a more stable and representative leadership, began the process of rebuilding and integrating into the broader galactic community. The warlord, having been deposed, faded into obscurity, and the factions that had once been at odds began working together to address common challenges. Earth, having played a pivotal role in the resolution of the Vortex conflict, emerged as a key player in the galaxy's new order. The EDC's leadership and strategic acumen had proven instrumental in shaping the outcome, and Earth's status as a formidable and respected power was solidified. The Hidden Fleet, now a symbol of both strength and transparency, became a cornerstone of Earth's defense and diplomatic efforts. Dennis Hicks, having returned from his mission, was celebrated for his contributions to the peace process. His experiences and insights had made him a valuable asset to the EDC, and he was given a prominent role in shaping future policy and strategy. The lessons learned from the conflict with the Draconis and the Vortex informed the EDC's approach to diplomacy and defense. The galaxy, now entering a period of relative peace and stability, faced new opportunities and challenges. The rise of the Vortex had demonstrated the need for vigilance and cooperation among different species. The EDC, along with its allies, worked to foster a spirit of collaboration and mutual respect, aiming to prevent the recurrence of conflicts and promote a more harmonious galactic order. As Earth and its allies looked to the future, the focus was on exploring new frontiers and advancing technological and scientific endeavors. The victory over the Draconis and the resolution of the Vortex conflict had set the stage for a new era of exploration and discovery. Humanity, having proven its resilience and ingenuity, stood ready to embrace the opportunities and challenges that lay ahead. The galaxy, once marked by conflict and uncertainty, now held the promise of a brighter future. The triumphs and sacrifices of the past had paved the way for a new chapter, one in which the spirit of cooperation and progress would guide the course of history.